Hello and welcome to another tutorial from digitalrgb.com. My name is Tony Richardson, and today I'm going to show you how to create a menu in Flash. And right now it's not rolling over because this is a picture of the menu. I created this and then deleted it. As you can see, it's untitled. So thankfully I took a picture. I was going to use the picture for the tutorial cover, but then for some reason, before I started this tutorial, I deleted this, and then I closed Flash, so I couldn't get it back. Well, let's start from scratch. I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. Create new Actionscript 3.0. Now, the size, we can stick with something like 800 by 150, and of course, you can make this whatever you want. I'm going to click in here so I can grab it, move it down, and let's go ahead. We're on layer 1, scene 1. We'll create a button. Okay, now I'm gonna, let's see, we got no stroke, which is perfect, and I have a gray fill. However, my size, we probably want something around 175. Oh, that's my X. Yeah, we don't want, that's my X. We actually, what we want is our width. That's what we're trying to get. So we'll click there. If you notice, when I move that around, my X number changes, and I actually want to change my width here. So 175 by 40. Between 40 and 50 is a good size for a button. And this one right here, we'll stick with 40, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to name this the base. Actually, what we need to actually convert it to a symbol so we can go inside it. Alright, so we're going to call it button underscore base. And this will be our base for all our buttons. Okay. Now I'm going to click inside, and even though we named that button base, this is actually going to be our base layer. So, or we'll just call it background, BG, background color. Okay, now we are going to put another layer on top of here, and we'll call this highlight. Okay, now the highlight, we'll grab this tool and we'll get a white fill. Actually, not white. Let's just go a little lighter. Let's a little lighter than that. And we'll grab here and about halfway. There we go. Okay. So let's zoom in a bit. Okay. Right now we have our highlight, we have our background color, and we need a good stroke around there. We're actually going to create a layer so that the stroke resides on this layer, but because there's nothing on that layer yet, I can't create a stroke on there, so I'm going to have to go to this background layer or the highlight layer. Well, the background is bigger, so, and is the full size, we'll use that. And what you do is you grab this icon, ink bottle, and go ahead, make sure that your stroke color, we'll set it to a dark gray right there, and there we go. Now, I'm going to select that by double-clicking so it goes all the way around. You can just select one, but if you double-click, you'll get all of them. Let's go ahead and increase that to something like 3, so it's a little bit bigger. Now, as you can see, we've got some issues here. That stroke is only around that bottom layer, so this top layer, it doesn't seem to go over that. That's why, if you select it, you can cut it by Edit, Cut right there, or Control or Command X, and go to Stroke and then paste in place, Control Shift V or Command Shift V. Alright, now we are looking good here, so we need to define this just a little bit more. Let's go ahead and I'm going to rename this to Outer Stroke. Alright, and then we're going to have a new layer, and we'll call this Inner Stroke. And let's grab this layer again, grab the ink bottle, and we'll grab white, we'll click on it, and there we go. Now I'm going to double click on that, and I want to change that to something like 1. Click OK. Actually, I just realized what I did. We're going to Control Z or Command Z to go back. I just put that on the outer layer. I want to lock these up, and I'm going to do this once again because if I shut that off, the stroke is not on it. So I want to make sure I'm on that layer when I do this. So I'm going to click on that, and we're going to shut these layers off, so we should be able to see our stroke, which is right there, and it's 1 pixel wide. We're going to edit, cut, and then we're going to turn all these back on, unlock them, and we'll lock these. We'll select this one, and we will edit, paste in place. There we go. Now let's look at what we've got. It's a little, let's do this. Let's grab this. We'll delete that. Grab this one, delete that. It's a little better. I'll grab that stroke there, and I'm going to use my arrow key and come in a bit, maybe 1 more. And so that was 2. I'll go over here, 1, 2, use my arrow key. That's a little better. And I have a reason for that, because once we line them up, I kind of want this to separate them a bit. If you remember that image, see, they had a little separation there, which kind of gave them a little 3D effect. And if, you know, using Flash to create your artwork is really the most difficult part. Really, there is nothing, in my opinion, that is more difficult than doing the artwork. The action script is actually the easier part. I'm going to see if I can Control T and transform. Actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to edit and see if I can, modify and transform, and then see if I can get free transform. Now, I'm clicking this top layer because I want it to come in just a smidgen. If you saw that, just a smidgen. Let's see if that did it. Nope. We're going to come in a little bit more. I want to see that bottom layer, and if I zoom in, we'll try it again. We'll modify, transform, free transform, and this is what I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see this line right here. Okay? So let's go ahead and view and magnification 100%, and there we go. Now when we line them up, that's going to give us a little 3D effect. It's going to be quite nice. Alright, I know it's a lot of work for such little gain. Now we need 2 more layers. We're going to create a text layer, and we will name it TXT, and then 1 more layer, and we'll call this hit. That layer is going to be actually over here, and it's just going to be our hit area. When you roll over, where can you click? So I'll lock that up. In our text layer, we're going to just type in home. There we go. And we have white, which is fine. And actually it was not white, it was gray. So we have a white stroke, which we don't really need a stroke. We need a white fill. There we go. Now I'm going to take that, and I'm going to click on that background layer. You saw that by hitting shift, and then I'm going to go here to align. Make sure align to stage isn't clicked, and we'll center it. Now I don't ever center it vertically. I just kind of eyeball it, because sometimes I may want it lower, may want it higher, and for this I think right there, just a little above horizontal, or a little above center would be perfect for this. Okay, now we have our button. What we're going to do is we're going to grab all this artwork right here, stroke, outer stroke, highlight, and background, and we're going to hold Alt, and I don't know what is that, Option on a Mac, and we're going to copy all of these, or you can copy and then paste them on the over and down states. Okay, so now if we click up, over, and down, they're all the same. Now the text hasn't gone anywhere, and there's a reason for that, and I'll show you a little bit later on. But what we'll do is we'll go to the overstate. We're going to grab this background layer. We're going to click on it, and let's go ahead, let's make sure it's selected by grabbing that. Let's go ahead and make him a little darker. Okay, now we're going to go to the down state. We're going to click background again, and I'm going to click it so that it does select it in the properties panel, and then we're going to go all the way to black. So now if we're on up and we roll over, it's going to get a little darker. Then once we click, just for a second, it's going to get really dark. So I know that looks like a really extreme case here, but remember the downstate's only for a split second, just while someone's clicking. So we're going to go back here. Now the hit area, we'll come back, unlock it, I'll lock all those up, and we will draw our hit area. There we go. Now, what we need to do is I'm going to make sure that I have it selected and have no stroke. Alright, and we have, it doesn't matter the fill, because what I'm going to do is going to modify, I'm going to convert it to a symbol, and we're going to actually convert it to a movie clip. And all we're going to call this is hit area. Just like that. It doesn't matter where the registration is. We'll click OK. The reason why I did that is so I can go over here into the color effect under the properties, make sure that's selected, and you click the drop down, make sure you hit alpha, and this should be all the way to 0. If it's at 100, just slide it to 0. And then now you can see through it. And what you want to do is grab this, and you don't want to copy it. You just want to take it and pull it all the way over to hit. So now it has a keyframe over here. And that's all you need. And there we go. We will go back to the up state, down, over, and the hit state is just, you know, the area that when you're over it, where can you click? And you could make that smaller if you wanted, maybe just over the text or something like that, or if you had some other idea in mind. That's what's nice about the hit area. Now the text, there was a reason I didn't copy the text, and I'll show you why that is in a minute. Let's go ahead and back out. Now we have our button. This is our master button, and we can call this master button. Yeah, master button. There we go. Okay, now, or nope, actually I'll tell you what we're going to call it. Master nav bar, not master button, because I'm going to take this and delete it. Now you say, why'd you do that? Well, I'm going to show you why. Because I wanted to show you it's in the library. It's right here, our button base. We're going to take it out, and we have the registration set to left, so we can click align to stage. Click left, we can align it to the top if we wanted, and then we could make this, you know, shorter or make it fit around it, but I'm just going to leave it there for now. And I'm drag out 1, 2, 3, so total of 4. And I just line them up by eye, just like that. You can select them all, and then click align, and we can just center them right there. Okay, and I'll uncheck that. And what I do is I click on this, and I will just tab over until I see that white line, but still have that dark area there. So we can come back. That's not bad, but I think that is just perfect. We're going to do the same thing over here, white line, and then one more. Alright, so I'm going to go up to the white line, I'm going to cover it, and then one more, and there we go. And I really like that. And if we were to publish this right now, as you see, we roll over, we got a nice rollover, and then when we click, we got a really nice, of course there's no text, and there's a reason for that. As you saw, we have no text in there, but we want to change these text right here. So I'm going to click in there. I'm going to click in there, and then I'm going to click we locked them all up. So I'm going to click the text layer right there, and I'm going to type in master, and then I'm going to leave it, because that button base now will say master, and it doesn't matter if it's aligned or anything. That's irrelevant, because we're going to change it now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back out. I'm going to make sure that's selected, and I'm going to go to modify symbol, duplicate symbol, and it's saying, what do you want to duplicate? What do you want to name this duplicate? And we're going to name this home, button base home. Click OK. Now button base home is here, but what happened to the button base? These three are button base still, and the only one that's button base home is this one. So if I go in and edit this text now to home, H-O-M-E. Alright, and I will click align and center. If you notice, it didn't change any of these, and now I can grab it and copy them over to each state, and there we go. Now he's done. So we'll do the same thing here. I'm gonna pause the video. Well, actually no, I won't. I'll just show you why this is. I'll just go ahead and go through it. Now I clicked on there. I will modify symbol, duplicate symbol, and we will call this about Click OK. Now the about's here. The master is no longer there, so it does swap them. If you say, well, do I have to delete it then pull one out? No, you don't have to do that. It actually swaps it when you duplicate it. So should call swap and duplicate. That'd probably be a better name. We're going to click modify symbol, duplicate symbol, and let's call this what? Services, I think is what we had. And we'll click in here and services. There we go. I'll grab that. Now, there is a way to link this dynamically. You can get into a coding session and go ahead and Actionscript and dynamically link these. But I think doing it this way, you know, is really about just as fast and certainly gives you a little more control. Alright, contact, and we're going to go in here and contact. See, that was pretty fast. I guess I didn't need to pause it. And I will click shift, align that, and there we go. Now, we have all of these, and what I can do now is, because I have the buttons here, I'm going to want to click this layer, name this to Actionscript, and I want my Actionscript on this layer because the buttons are right here, and I'm going to give this an instance name of home_btn. This one we're going to call it about_btn, and services_btn, contact _btn. You got to make sure you get these right because you're going to use scripting to call them. Now I'm going to select them all, and then I'm going to modify, convert to symbol, and we'll call this movie clip. And we're going to call this our master nav bar, which I've been trying to name these. That's the same layer as that. So we will click OK, and now we have a movie clip on our master nav bar layer. But inside of here, actually, this is where we want our Actionscript. So I'm going to back out. I'm sorry for misleading you there. All right, we're going to click in. This is where we want. This is where we want. Okay, so this layer we're going to name Actionscript. Okay, there we go. Now we are going to click right here. Make sure that's selected. Click Actions. Actions, there we go, and we need to put an event listener. And you say, what is an event listener? Well, it's basically saying listen to this right here and do something. Now I've just clicked home, so I am now in that, and I don't want to be. I want to be on the timeline and click the actual layer where all of these are on, so I can affect all of them. You see how they're all selected? If I were just on here, I could only affect that one. So I'm going to click this again. Click Actions. Now I can write a script for all of them. I'm only going to do the first two. So I think it was called home btn, and then we're going to put .add event listener. Okay, and it's going to be a mouse event, and it's going to be a click event, and it's going to be the home. What are we going to name this? This function will be home btn select. How about that? And we're going to lock them up. All right, let's do about _btn dot add event listener mouse event dot click. It gets a little boring here. Select. I could put click, I guess. That'd probably be a little more in line, but this can be anything you want, and this can be anything you want. Well, actually, this has to be that. This home button is whatever instance name I've given this. This about button is for whatever instance name I've given this about button. So, and you probably saw that. I didn't. btn. Okay, select. Make sure this is add event listener, mouse event click. Add event listener, mouse event click. I always mess up my spelling here, so hopefully not this time. We'll go down a bit, and now we're going to write our function. So let's define the function, and the function will be the first one, btn select. Home button btn select. Okay, it's going to be an event mouse event, and then void. Now if you don't know what I'm doing, don't worry about it, just copy it as is and your buttons will work. Now we're going to add a variable URL, and this is going to be a string, and this string is going to, let's see, where do we want to go? HTTP. How about Google? Yeah, we'll just go to Google for now. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm creating a variable URL string called http www.google.com. That's where we're headed. So on this home button select, we're basically going to go here. Now I need to request this variable. Variable request, and let's see, it's going to be a URL request. URL in caps. Make sure that's in caps, and then the first letter. And if you type it out, you'll see the request right here. So variable request URL request and space equals, and it's going to be a new URL, and in caps again, URL request. See right there. So you can just tab and it'll pick it. Alright, and see that URL right here? It says URL string equals null. Just type URL right there. Oh, I'm sorry, lowercase URL. And yes, it is case sensitive. So now, right now we're going to put try, and just if you're not, like I said, if you're not exactly sure what this means, don't worry about it. Let's see, I'm going to get rid of these curly brackets because that's the one thing I always mess up on. They're actually, this code's a little bit different than other coding, and what'll happen is I always think I need to close them when in fact you don't. So we're going to navigate to URL, a request, and then it needs to be, what are we going to say, self? No, we're going to put blank, just because we want this to open up in a new window. Okay, so we're going to navigate to the URL request, and where is it going to go? It's going to go in a blank window. That's what we're doing when we put try here. And now we can close that. Okay, so I'm going to back that up because I need to put a catch error phrase. So catch error tab. Okay, and we're going to open curly bracket, and we're going to trace this error with this message right here. Error about error occurred. There we go. Okay, and I should have what, one, and I think one more curly bracket. Let me check it. And I have an error. Told you I did. Alright, let me look through it again. Function btn select, and then I need an event mouse. I'm going to pause it while I look. Okay, right here, this trace. Right there, I had another parentheses. I had this right there. And that was just apparently a typo. So that looks to be the only thing, and it looks like it's accepted it. Basically, you just select this, copy, and tab down or enter. Alright, press paste, and right here, here's all you got to change. This to about, and we do need to make sure that we go to a different URL just so we can test it. Like Amazon. Oh, Amazon. Okay, let's just double check that. Looks like everything's good. Control Enter. And let's see. Oh, we didn't change our text. Well, let's see if our... Yeah, we went to Google and we go to Amazon. Okay, oh, there's our picture. So, here's what we got to do now. We got to go in here, and remember I was telling you that our text, so we've changed all our text. Now we need to copy it over to each state. Alright, so we're going to grab that, copy, and going to grab that text and we're going to copy it and we're going to back out, and let's test one more time. And oh wow, looks nice. We'll click on those. Nothing happens because they're not coded. Okay, works nicely. Thank you for watching. This is DigitalRGB.com.